Mike Tyson has issued a massive warning to Jake Paul ahead of their highly anticipated clash, signaling that he is not to be underestimated. Recently, Tyson kicked off his training camp, where he showcased his remarkable hand speed and formidable power, leaving onlookers thoroughly impressed. A video from the training session captures Tyson engaging in rigorous pad work alongside his coach, Rafael Cordero, emphasizing not only his striking capabilities, but also his commitment to enhancing his stamina.
Day 4, it was okay, but you don't know what you got in store, baby. You got to face the God of War. And get ready, baby. Fire in the house.
The footage culminates in a chilling message directly aimed at Paul, instilling a sense of dread in viewers and setting the tone for the upcoming bout. In a follow-up message, Tyson provided another ominous warning for Paul, ramping up the intensity of their rivalry.
Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao was big, but culturally, you versus Jake Paul, like this young YouTuber takes on one of the greatest heavyweight champions that's ever lived.
I love that. Sounds good. Hey, everybody listen. Continue,
Are you listening to this? If he's willing to do it, you know how crazy it is if he's willing to do it?
I saw Jake Paul. I was in St. Barth. I was in St. Barth, and I don't know who I was on somebody's boat, and
He stated, "Day 4, it was okay, but you don't know what you got in store, baby. You gotta face the God of War. Get ready, baby. Fire in the house." This statement underscores Tyson's determination and readiness to reclaim his legacy in the ring.
I put a picture of me.
His brother's great too. Logan's a really nice guy.
Please?
But my point is, that fight would be gigantic. Because first of all, everybody would want to see what.
Positioning himself as a formidable opponent for Paul. As Tyson continues to train and hone his skills, fans and critics alike are left wondering how the fight will unfold, and whether the legendary boxer can translate his training success into a powerful performance when it matters most. The anticipation surrounding this match continues to grow, fueled by Tyson's bold declarations and impressive training clips. Many are eager to see if Tyson can harness his vast experience and raw power against Paul, a fighter known for his unpredictable style and relentless approach. As the fight date draws nearer, both Tyson and Paul are under pressure to deliver a memorable showdown that could redefine their careers and the landscape of boxing. Tyson's warnings may serve as a reminder that, despite his age, he remains a force to be reckoned with, and fans can expect an electrifying encounter when they step into the ring. Meanwhile, in a podcast episode with Joe Rogan, Mike Tyson discussed a confrontation he had with Jake Paul. Tyson recounted encountering Jake Paul, noting that they were in the same area, essentially sharing the same space. This happened while he was on someone's boat, where Paul also appeared to be. Rogan responded by pointing out the potential magnitude of a fight between them, suggesting that such a fight would be significant due to the widespread interest it would likely attract. In response, Tyson expressed his enthusiasm, indicating his willingness by suggesting they proceed with the idea. However, Campbell Hatton has voiced concern, suggesting that the training clips featuring Mike Tyson may have misled fans into believing Tyson is fully prepared to face Jake Paul in the ring. Hatton believes the footage is being strategically employed to justify the fight, potentially distorting reality. He said, "People are getting carried away because Tyson looks incredibly formidable in training videos."
The contract, big boy. Sign the contract.
No problem. Saturday, July 20th. See you there.
But they are justifying the fight based on his training prowess? While Tyson's physical conditioning appears impressive, Hatton emphasizes that it's important not to confuse training highlights with real combat readiness. Tyson's age and physical limitations play a critical role in this debate. Hatton underscored the importance of considering Tyson's age, which cannot be ignored, even in the face of his seemingly undiminished punching power. At 57 years old, Tyson's ability to endure the rigors of a full boxing match, absorb punches, and sustain his stamina over multiple rounds presents a significant challenge. Hatton points out that while Tyson may still pack a punch, the toll of age on his reflexes and resistance makes it much harder to withstand the kind of punishment that comes with a professional fight. This isn't just about Tyson's skill, it's about whether his body can hold up to the demands of modern boxing. Hatton also expressed concern about the potential impact of a loss on Tyson's legacy, especially among younger fans. If Jake Paul manages to knock Tyson out, Hatton fears it could send the wrong message to impressionable newcomers to the sport, many of whom have been captivated by Tyson's training videos on YouTube. If Jake Paul knocks him out due to Tyson's age and diminished resistance, it could mislead young fans. It might give the wrong impression to those introduced to boxing through YouTube, Hatton warned. The excitement generated by these clips could overshadow the reality that a 57-year-old fighter, no matter how skilled, faces limitations that can't be ignored. On the other hand, Jake Paul has also responded to Tyson's insane warning. As Tyson questioned him if he still wanted to fight with him, Paul was quick to respond. He tweeted, Yes, I do. Paul will step into the ring against Tyson, riding a wave of 3 consecutive victories with his latest 2 triumphs earned against lesser-ranked opponents in the professional boxing circuit. In a recent interview, he said, I can't believe it. It's surreal to me. I'm still trying to process and comprehend it. When we faced off for the first time, afterward I started laughing. I stepped away and was like, bro, what the expletive is going on? Now we know that Tyson and Paul have faced off for the fight announcement, but everyone is now asking about when the official press conference will be. While there are still no official comments on it, insiders reveal that we may see it anytime next month.
Tyson's last professional fight was nearly 20 years ago in 2005, although he did have an exhibition fight with Roy Jones Jr. 4 years ago, where Jake Paul, on the other hand, has been having fights regular, keeping active, training as good, if not better, than most professional boxers.
However, until then, we can enjoy all the warnings and training videos coming from both Tyson and Paul. Meanwhile, upon learning about the match between Tyson and Paul, Oscar De La Hoya expressed concern for Tyson's safety, going up against a much younger opponent. Like Paul, the CEO of Golden Boy Promotions was against the idea of Tyson confronting an opponent 3 decades his junior. Oscar said, I've been preaching since the beginning with Jake Paul that he actually can do it. He can get a world title, but only if he takes a different route. This route, going up against Mike Tyson, is not the right one for me. He discussed the advantages and disadvantages of a Tyson versus Paul matchup, while suggesting that Paul pursue an alternate path to become a world champion. De La Hoya also expressed confidence in Tyson's potential to defeat the problem child with a knockout. He added, I mean, Mike Tyson's 60 years old. Jake Paul's what, 26, 27? If Jake Paul wants to take boxing seriously, take the route that all the other fighters take. Tough fights, up the ranks, top 10 fighters, top 5, world champion. Not this route with Tyson. In another insightful interview with ES News, Oscar De La Hoya emphasized that Mike Tyson faced formidable opponents during his prime, underscoring the legendary boxer's enduring punching power. He stated, Tyson still has the punching power. The last thing to go till you're in your grave, basically. Yeah, if Tyson catches him with a good one, it's obviously lights out for Jake Paul. Oscar's comments reflect a deep respect for Tyson's boxing pedigree and highlight the inherent risks that Paul will face in the ring. Despite Paul's rising profile as a social media star and influencer-turned-boxer, Oscar was clear about the dangers posed by Tyson's explosive knockout ability. While De La Hoya did not entirely dismiss Paul's chances of winning, he acknowledged that success in the ring would hinge on Paul's ability to avoid Tyson's devastating strikes. He added, but that's if he catches him. I was studying the Roy Jones-Tyson fight the other night, and Tyson was actually doing great. This observation underscores the notion that Tyson, even in his later years, showcased skills and instincts that make him a dangerous opponent. Oscar's analysis of the Tyson versus Jones exhibition highlights Tyson's ability to adapt and still perform at a high level, suggesting that his experience and strategic approach could play a crucial role in any matchup. Tyson, who appeared in prime condition ahead of his exhibition match with Roy Jones Jr. in 2020, has been vocal about his thoughts on Paul's journey in boxing. As early as April 2022, he weighed in on the 27-year-old's bold decision to enter the squared circle, expressing admiration for Paul's willingness to take on such a challenging sport. Tyson remarked, I love the fact he jumped into the game. People don't understand that boxing needs that at this stage. In boxing, the greatest fighters are not fighting each other. Boxing needs a guy like this. His comments suggest a recognition of the evolving nature of the sport, where traditional champions may not be as visible, and new personalities like Paul can help rekindle interest and excitement. Tyson's perspective reflects a more inclusive view of boxing, where the entry of social media figures can invigorate the sport and attract a younger audience. He acknowledges that while the sport has its storied legends, the infusion of new talent, regardless of background, is essential for its growth. This sentiment resonates particularly in today's landscape, where traditional boxing matches often lack the fanfare and attention they once commanded. As the fight date approaches, the anticipation builds, with fans eagerly awaiting the clash of Tyson's experience and raw power against Paul's unorthodox style and ambition. This matchup not only represents a significant moment for both fighters, but also serves as an opportunity for boxing to redefine itself in a rapidly changing landscape, blending the worlds of traditional sports with modern entertainment. The narrative around Tyson versus Paul is rich with implications for the future of boxing. It raises questions about how the sport can adapt to new realities and what it means to be a boxer in today's era. Both Tyson and Paul, despite their differing paths, illustrate the potential for crossover appeal that can draw in diverse audiences. Ultimately, this fight could redefine not just their careers, but also the broader conversation about what boxing represents in contemporary culture. Reflecting on the occasion this week, Jake Paul fondly recalled his expedition. He said, "It's crazy to think that in my second pro fight, I went viral for knocking out Nate Robinson on Mike Tyson's undercard. Now, less than 4 years later, I'm stepping up to face Tyson myself to see if I have what it takes to beat one of boxing's most notorious fighters and biggest icons." Tony Jeffries, the former Olympic boxing medalist who has since become a coach, is keen to share his extensive boxing knowledge. Tony was asked if he had ever considered the scenario of Mike Tyson, the legendary boxer, attempting to assert his dominance against a younger fighter. Jeffries responded with a thoughtful and sincere reflection on the matter. Tony said, "He has nothing to prove. If it goes horribly wrong for Mike Tyson, he will be remembered by the younger generation as that old boxer that got knocked out by Jake Paul." Jeffries' contemplation didn't end with Tyson's legacy. He pivoted to the fight's implications for Jake Paul. He said, "I'm sorry to say this is possible. The man is a living legend, a boxing icon." Further, Jeffries illuminated the upside for Paul, pinpointing the significant opportunity this fight represents for the younger contender. "I think this fight is great for Jake, not Mike," he asserted. Steven Jackson, renowned for his unfiltered perspectives, has recently voiced his concerns regarding the forthcoming bout between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. During an episode of the All the Smoke podcast, a fervent admirer of Tyson, he reflected on Tyson's ups and downs in life and how he made love to the bad times and is still here, doing big things. "I just don't want him to go out there and risk his legacy dealing with a guy like Jake Paul," Jackson said. While acknowledging Paul's success, Jackson couldn't mask his concern. "If he knocked Mike Tyson out, I'm just telling you, somebody's going to wait outside and hurt him for real," indicating the deep respect Tyson commands and the controversial nature of Paul's challenge. UFC's Johnny Walker, the light heavyweight contender, recently expressed his surprisingly upbeat views on the matchup. Walker characterized the bout as a money-driven endeavor, yet acknowledged Tyson's entitlement to it as a revered icon in the realm of boxing. Walker remarked, "I actually think that the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight is a very good, smart marketing fight. Both will make a lot of money. Good for Mike, he deserves it, and I think it will be an exhibition fight. What do you think?" Former world champion Amir Khan has given his prediction for the anticipated fight between the legendary Mike Tyson and YouTuber Jake Paul. Khan is of the opinion that Iron Mike will clinch a victory through an early knockout. Amir Khan said, "The fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, wow, no one would have ever expected a fight like that to be made. Mike Tyson is a legend of the game and not someone who you want to mess about with. Even though he's older now and has been retired for a long time, he's obviously done a few exhibitions." Khan further expressed his concern for Jake Paul, suggesting that engaging in a fight with a heavyweight legend like Tyson could result in significant harm. He openly questioned Paul's reasoning behind accepting a fight against such a renowned and powerful figure in the boxing world. Khan added, "I just feel that he can really hurt Jake Paul. I just can't believe what Jake Paul's thinking. He's fighting a heavyweight great, and I think he can get hurt badly." Khan questioned the reality of the fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, suggesting that it might just be a hype strategy, as they both announced it simultaneously. He expressed his astonishment and concern, hoping that Tyson would not seriously injure Paul. According to Khan, is it just hype with Mike and Jake posting it at the same time? "This is unreal, and I hope that Mike doesn't end up hurting him. Because at the end of the day, I like Jake, but Mike is not a person you want to mess with or do an exhibition with, especially when you're a lot smaller and lighter. Furthermore, Khan expressed his uncertainty about whether the fight would actually take place, admitting his amazement and shock at the prospect. Despite these doubts, he predicted that if the fight does happen, Mike Tyson would win by knockout, highlighting that Tyson, even in his 50s, remains an imposing and dangerous figure not to be underestimated. He added, "I don't know how this is going to go. Is it really going to happen? It amazes me, and I'm shocked. I've got Mike Tyson winning by knockout. Even though he's in his 50s, he's still a dangerous guy not to be messed with."